Alright, good evening everyone. My name is Johanna Weiman, and this video that I'm going to be recording for you today is for week 7's assignment. The assignment is to analyze a sample charter for statutory compliance, and the corporation that I chose today for this assignment is Lockheed Martin Corporation. Lockheed Martin is an American global aerospace, defense, security, and advanced technologies company that is based out of Maryland. So I have embedded a link to the corporate charter as well as a link to Maryland's Articles of Incorporation if anybody wishes to follow along and cannot keep up with the pace that I'm presenting at, even researching at. So first off, I googled the website of Lockheed Martin, so simply just searching. I want to make sure everyone can see this. And zoom in a little bit. I just googled Lockheed Martin Corporation. And here's the website right here. So I searched the official website for something that would actually help me complete the assignment. So when deciding the corporation, like which one to choose, I just looked up well-known corporations, and Lockheed Martin was one of them that came up, and so I thought that would be a good choice. So in the top part of the webpage, there's a place called, it's a tab, and it's called Who We Are. So I clicked on that. I decided that might be the best place to look for the charter. And so I clicked on it, and I found a section called Corporate Governance right here. And right in this area of the website, it has the corporate charter right here. Okay. So my second step, so here's this, I'm going to zoom it in for everybody so everyone can read it. The second step was to find some sort of statute for Lockheed Martin's state of domicile, which is Maryland. So I'm going to go to Google as well here. And I'm going to type in Justia. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I've been pronouncing it the whole way this time. Like I've been pronouncing it that way, but I'm using that one because it's accessible for everyone, so I'm going to click on that. So in the search bar right here, I typed in Maryland code. And so what came up under this search was just this. I clicked on the first one right here. And under this, I chose the most recent version of the code, which is 2016. And then under the 2016 Maryland code, there's a lot of different options, but obviously the one that's going to apply most to this assignment is the corporations and associations part, since this is what the assignment is about. And I chose that section. So one of the first steps, as we've read in our textbook and we've covered in this course, one of the first steps to form a corporation is to file the Articles of Incorporation in the corporation's state of domicile. And then for Lockheed Martin, that is Maryland. So I went to the section called Title II, which is right here, and it's called Corporations in General, Formation, Organization, and Operation. And then under that, I did Subtitle I, which is Formation and Powers. And then under that, you have a bunch of different options right here, but the one that I'm going to choose today is Articles of Incorporation. I'm going to zoom that in for everybody so everyone can see. Sometimes you have to click multiple different links to find what you're looking for. Section 2104 is what I'm going to be basing my analysis off today for the statutory compliance for Lockheed Martin's charter. So the first area of the charter that I'm going to analyze today is the name. The statute states that the Articles of Incorporation shall include the name and address of each incorporator and a statement that each incorporator is 18 years or older and forming a corporation under the general laws of the state of Maryland. The name is correctly stated, so let's go to the charter right here. The name is correctly stated in Lockheed Martin's charter, and the address is stated under Article 4, which is right here in the charter, and it's stated under the principal office and resident agent. And then you can see in this that it states in the address of the principal office and address of the resident agent as well. The corporation's name is stated in Article 1, which is right here. However, nowhere in the charter does it state that each incorporator is 18 years old or older, and it also doesn't state specifically that Lockheed Martin is forming a corporation under the general laws of the state of Maryland. So that was a discrepancy that I found. So under the second section, right here, under the second section, of the required provisions in the Articles of Incorporation. The charter must state the purposes for which the corporation is formed, or a statement that a corporation may engage in any lawful business or other activity. In the Lockheed Martin Charter, this is done under Article 3. So this is the charter right here, and this is Article 3. And it says the purpose for which the corporation is formed is to engage in any lawful act, activity, or business for which corporations may now or hereafter be organized under the Maryland General Corporation Law, the GCL. The corporation shall have all the general powers granted by law to Maryland corporations, and all other powers not inconsistent with law, which are appropriate to promote and attain its purpose. Under the fourth section of the Articles of Incorporation, the address of the principal office of the corporation must be included. So, in this one, it's included in Article 4, and it says right here that the address of the principal office of the corporation in the state of Maryland is 6801 Rockledge Drive, Bethesda, Maryland, 20817. And then under the fifth section of the required provisions in the Articles of Incorporation, it then asks for the name and address of the resident agent of the corporation, which is different. So going back to the charter, you see that the resident agent of the corporation is CSC Lawyers Incorporating Service Company, whose address is 7 St. Paul Street, Suite 1660, Baltimore, Maryland 21202. The resident agent is a Maryland corporation. Under the sixth section of the required provisions in the Articles of Incorporation, there are 3 subsections. So this is where you see this right here. So the first one says that the total number of shares of stock of all classes which the corporation has authority to issue. And this is located in Article 6 of the charter. So down here, right here. And it's under the authorized shares of stock part. So it says the total number of shares of stock of all classes which the corporation has authority to issue is 1,550,000,000 shares, divided into 50 million shares of series preferred stock, $1 per par value per share, and 1,500,000,000 shares of common stock, $1 par value per share. The aggregate par value of all shares of all classes is 1,550,000,000. A description of each class with the preferences, conversion, and other rights is as follows, and then that goes into a different part. And so the second subsection requires the number of shares of stock of each classes. This is also located in the article that I just read to you. And then subsection 3 requires the aggregate par value of all shares of all classes, which I also read to you, which is at this last sentence right here. The aggregate par value of all shares of all classes is 1,550,000,000. So Article 7, I'll go back to the articles. Article 7 of the Articles of Incorporation call for a description of each class if the stock is divided into classes, including any preferences, conversion and other rights, voting powers, restrictions, limitations as to dividends, qualifications in terms, and conditions of redemption. This is also under Article 6 of the Charter that I was showing you, where it states what I just said, following by the 3 types of stock sections, which are right here: series preferred stock, common stock, and general stock. They all contain all the information that was required by the right here, this statement, which says a description of each class of the preferences, conversion and other rights, voting powers, etc., which basically is just verbatim of what I just said. Under the 8th section of the required provisions in the Articles of Incorporation, which is right here, the number of directors and the names of those individuals who will serve as directors until their successors are elected and qualified must be listed. So in the charter for Lockheed Martin, this information is located under Article 5. So I have to find that one. Okay, right here, Article 5. And so this says that the business and affairs of the corporation shall be managed under the direction of the board of directors. I'll go ahead and highlight it for everybody. And then the number of directors of the corporation is currently 13, which number may be increased or decreased from time to time pursuant to the charter or the bylaws of the corporation, but which never shall be less than 12. The names of the current directors who shall act until their successors are duly chosen and qualified are, and then it says the 13 ones. I'm not going to read those just for sake of time. Okay, so the second part of the Articles of Incorporation, right here, involve the permissible provisions of a charter. For the Lockheed Martin Charter specifically, these start under Article 7. So that starts right here. This is where it starts for the Lockheed Martin Charter. Section B1 of the Articles of Incorporation. So going back to that, that's right here. Section B1 of the Articles of Incorporation states that the Charter may include any provision not inconsistent with law that defines, limits, or regulates the powers of the corporation, its directors and stockholders, or the holders of any bonds, notes, or other securities that it may issue. These are outlined under Article 7, right here, of the Charter. For the sake of time, you can read that at your own pace separately, just because, I don't want to make this video 20 minutes long. So Section B2 of the Articles of Incorporation, which starts right here, of the provisions state that the Charter may include any restriction not inconsistent with law on the transferability of stock of any class. So this is located in the Lockheed Martin Charter, also Article 7, but it's located in Section 2 right here. And that says, no holders of shares of stock of the corporation of any class shall have any preemptive or other rights to subscribe for other purchases or purchase any part of any new or additional issue of stock of any class or of securities convertible into stock of any class, whether now or hereafter authorized, and whether issued for money, for consideration other than money, or by way of dividend. So as I was reading through all of this, I realized that it might be faster to just state what the Charter does include and see if it complies with its state's Articles of Incorporation, which was what the assignment asked for. So the Charter does include a section on bylaws, which is in Article 8, and that is right here. Oops. Article 8. My bad, that's in the Charter right here. That's Article 8, and that's where it states bylaws. And then the Articles of Incorporation state that any provision authorized by this article to be included by the bylaws is permissible. Article 7, Section 5, which is down here. Sorry, I'm getting everything mixed up a little bit. It talks about majority votes, which is concurrent with Articles of Incorporation B5. So B5 of Articles of Incorporation is right here. And it says a provision that requires for any purpose a lesser proportion of the votes of all classes or of any stock or of any class of stock than the proportion required by this article for that purpose, but this proportion may not be less than a majority of all these votes entitled to be cast on the matter. So that is located in Section 5 right here of Article 6. So that's this area right here. So the rest of the Charter includes multiple provisions that I'm not sure apply to the Articles of Incorporation. I'm not sure if I understand whether or not a Charter may include provisions that are not included in the state's Articles of Incorporation. So I'll ask that question to my audience in hopes that someone may clarify that for me, or Ms. Johnson will clarify that for me. So thank you for taking time to watch my video, and I hope that everybody has a great night and was able to understand this.